Hello my fellow gamers, in this video we'll be taking a look at what is BigWigs, why we should use it, and how to set it up. With that being said, let's get right into it. So BigWigs is our friend when it comes to dungeons and raids. It will simply show us a bar telling us when an ability will start casting, and after it casts, it will simply show us a message as to what ability was cast. We basically want to use BigWigs to keep track of things which are hard to spot or to be prepared for something coming our way. Maybe a tank buster, a healing check, or simply a swirly we need to dodge as a DPS. This add-on is basically mandatory as dungeons and raids got much more complex over time and there are way too many things to track at once. With this being said, let's get into actually setting it up. Alright, so we got the boring stuff out of the way, the whole theory, yada yada yada. Now we can actually start setting up our BigWigs. So I'm gonna start off by simply typing in chat /BW. And now it will open up this beautiful screen for us where we can actually start setting up BigWigs. Before I go into customizing it and kind of setting it up how I want to, I kind of want to go down to profiles and make a new profile for myself. My default is already used, so I'm going to make a new one just for my beautiful warrior right here. So I'm going to call it DPS Warrior. I'm going to press OK, and now I have a new profile for my warrior. It's going to be used on my warrior every time I log in. We can also copy from default if I want to and work from there. I can also delete a profile if I want to, or I can also enable spec specific profiles. Maybe I just want all my warrior, my BigWigs to look different, but we will get there. We will get there. All right. But now I'm just going to leave it for all the specs. I'm not even sure exactly what the hell, we're going to change, if we're going to need to change. So I'm going to leave it there. We're going to go back to the main screen, this BigWigs one. And for the sake of this video, I'm going to disable the flash screen since I don't know if people are sensible to flashing screens. You can leave it on. It will simply flash your screen when something very important is happening. Again, for the sake of this video, I'm going to disable them. I don't know if people, get triggered by the flash screens. I just want to make it sure. All right. Under the settings, we have some commands, which we're going to be using throughout our World of Warcraft career. If we do, raids or Mythic Plus, it's pretty good. If you forget about them, again, just remember. I just want you to remember /BW, or you can just go up here to your minimap and press this specific button. Or apparently it's right click. I want to say left click, but it's right click. So just right click that button and this thing will appear. Now I'm gonna create again another set of test bars and I'll be explaining to you what all of these bars do. So these blue bars here, these are basically kind of reminders of, hey, hello, some bars are coming. Sorry, some spells are coming. Under us, there are the emphasize bars, which are like, hey dude, these spells that I told you about a few seconds ago, they're coming now. And these messages here, they're basically, hey dude, they just happened, or you have to do something, right? The emphasize bar is, the emphasize message is basically, dude, you better do something or else stuff will hit the fan, All right, so that's basically it in very short. Okay, so now let's move on to bars. So we're simply gonna click here on this bars tab. So if you were here, I'm gonna click on the bars tab, and now we should have this. So this general tab basically changes everything related to the bars, right? All of them that you see on our screen right now. We can change everything from here. So let's just take it one by one. Not that much we can do. So let's go on and change the font. I kind of don't like this font. It looks a bit too boring. So let's just go with the what we have here. Let's go with the 2002 bold. Give that wow look a bit, We can also give these text some outline. All right. It doesn't look really good right now, but we can maybe change it a bit later. We can maybe make the font a bit bigger, right? So I'm going to leave this outline for now. Monochrome basically removes all this moving from the text. I'm going to keep it on for the love of God. I think it looks awful on my screen. Not sure how it looks on yours, but I'm going to leave it on. Moving on to styles. These are basically some sort of templates for you to use if you want to. So this is I'm just gonna show you some of them. You can use beauty case, I guess, LVUI, mono UI, Took UI. So I guess if you use one of those, UIs, you can maybe, I don't know, use these, but I'm gonna get default and move on from there. Spacing is basically how much space you want to have between your bars. I'm gonna leave it at 0. I just got used to having 0 here. Nothing really complicated. Fill basically reverses the timer that you see on the screen. So basically right now it drains the bar. Now it basically fills the bar, right? I'm gonna leave it at, you know, at draining the bar, simply because, again, I got used to it. The texture is basically how you want the bar to look. The colored part, the colored part of the bar. So, you know, you can change it from here. You can use Blizzard character skill bars, Blizzard bars, solid bars, smoother bars. You know, you name it, you have it. I'm not even sure which. I think I use bento bars. I think this is what I use on my default, but to spice it up a bit, I'm just gonna change my scenery a bit and use V2. You know, I think it looks pretty slick, you know, doesn't it? I think it looks pretty cool, right? All right. Now we have under here, we have text time icon. We can remove them, and we can just have some bars on our screen, which have no idea what the hell they're gonna do. If you can play like this, then I think, and you can actually play good like this, then I think you have a career in the race toward first or the MDI. But for us mortal people, we're gonna enable all of these back just to see how the hell just to see what the hell these bars do. We can change the where the text is. We can put them in the middle. If you vibe with that, we can put the text on the left, timer on the middle. You know, if you like that. You cannot really put them in the center. Sadly, it will just overlap with themselves, as you can see. So I haven't found a way if you can actually overlap them, or actually not overlap them, but if you can actually move the text a bit to the left or to the right, or the timer a bit to the left or the right. I'm not really sure if that's possible. If someone knows, let me know. It will help me too. But so far, I haven't found a way. So that's basically it for all the bars. That's basically it. Now, we're gonna move on to the normal bars. So, as I told you before, the normal bars are these right here, these blue ones. These are the normal bars. The emphasize bars are the ones under us. Alright? So, let's go over the bars and let's see what options we have here. So, grow upwards, basically when a new bar appears, it will just go on top. If we disable it, it will go under. I'm gonna leave it under. I think this is like, again, personal preference. Visible bar limit is basically how many bars you can have on your screen. I think if I put it, for example, to 2 and I create more bars than we really have, then yeah, as you can see, we can just disable how many bars we have. So I'm gonna leave it to 100 again. It really doesn't matter. Actually, it does matter because you kind of want to have as many reminders as you need, because you know you don't want to be taken by surprise. So yeah, I would recommend you to kind of leave them at 100. I guess this option is good here for very limited screen space. Other than that, I mean, yeah, I will leave it to 100 unless you have like very, very limited space, you know. So for font size, basically changes our font, as you can see. I'm gonna put it at 17, 16. I think 16 is fine. I think 16 is fine enough. We can kind of see it. It looks pretty bad right now, but we're gonna change the height and all type of stuff in a second. But before we do that, I kind of don't like where they are positioned. And now we're gonna take a look at the show moving anchors option here. Now with show moving anchors, basically you have to understand that every element of an add-on usually is attached to a thing called an anchor, and to move that specific element, you have to move the anchor. All right. So let's just start moving stuff. So I'm gonna press this button, show moving anchors, and some more bars are gonna appear on our screen. I am not really sure exactly how to even call them, but some more bars. I'm gonna close this window for a second. So our normal bars, they start from up here, right? So I'm gonna move them here. I'm gonna move them down here, and this proximity meter we can change it later. I'm gonna explain to you what the hell that is in a second. I'm gonna move my bars, and let's just put it next to our emphasize message so that it doesn't overlap the emphasize message. Yeah, so that they don't overlap each other. If I can actually, perfect. Okay, there you go. And now, if I open up my BigWigs again, create some test bars, all my bars will spawn here on the right, as you can see. Nice, we got it. Right? We can use the exact positioning if you really want to be pixel perfect, but, you know, it's really up to you. And now, what I don't like about these bars is that I feel like they're way too short. So let's just change a bit here. Down here, we have the width and the height, which changes the width or the height of the bar. So again, as I said before, I don't like that they're way too short. So let me just go with like maybe a 25 height. Okay. Maybe 27. Let's see. Yeah, I kind of like 27 more. It looks a bit better if you ask me. And they're also, I feel like they're also they kind of jump into my eyes much easier. So I'm gonna disable the show moving anchors, by the way, because it kind of annoys me a bit. So yeah, we have these bars here on the right, and I kind of like they're a bit too they're a bit too long, maybe. So just kind of cut them a bit. Just make them 210. All right, I feel like that's a good spot, right? I feel that's a good spot. Now we're gonna go back to the normal to the general bars, and we're actually gonna be applying the fin outline because right now we kind of need it. I feel like we kind of need it. It feels like, you know, it feels like right now it looks a bit better, right? If you want, you can also change, I don't know, to a solid. Actually, on solid it looks god awful. Bent up bar looks, yeah, okay. So I guess it kind of works only on smooth bars. V2. All right. So again, up to you. So you can kind of go back to see if you like this specific, you know, again, you can kind of always go back and change things realistically. You know, if you want to change, the texture again, go ahead. It's not going to break anything that you just changed. So you can just go back and change some things. All right. So we got it out of the way. And now we go to emphasize bars. Again, the emphasize bars are the ones under our character, right? Now, we can actually disable these, and we can just use these normal bars. So we're going to disable them. Right now it worked because I already set up the... I pretty much created the bars before I disabled the emphasize bars. But right now, as you can see, every bar will just stand on the right there. You know, those blue bars, they're going to stay there. They're not going to move. And we can just simply use that. If you want to do that, that's completely fine. Some people actually only use these. You know, if you feel like the emphasize bars are way too much, you can actually just use these. Move these bars closer to your character or closer to where your eyes can see them much easier. And voila, you can just use this. Completely fine. Later on, you can also change the color if you don't like them. We're going to take a look at that. But right now, we can just simply use this. It's completely fine. We already set it up. It's fine. Good to go. Congrats. Right? For the sake of the video, if you're not interested in emphasize bars, you can skip the nameplate bars. I think I should put time tags, time chapters in the video description or on the bar, on the play bar. But for the sake of the video, I'm gonna be enabling emphasize bars simply because I kind of want to go over them in case people want to use them. All right, so we have the restart thing here, which if we enable this, if you remember our emphasize bars, let me actually make a test bar. Our emphasize bar will basically move this bar here and reset itself to 10 seconds. Basically, that will be the the full timer. So I'm gonna show it right now to you. It moved and now it starts the timer from 10. If we disable this, it will take this bar and it will just simply move it here. It won't change the timer, so you'll see in a second. The timer will start from 10, but 10 won't be the whole bar filled. As you can see, we started from half because we were close to half of the timer that just passed, like half the timer that passed, right? That's basically it. I'm gonna keep it at restart on, simply because I just got used to it and it feels more natural to me. Grow upwards is basically the same thing that was here in the normal bars, where new bars appear on top of each other. Moving, it basically, I'll show you explain it. When a new emphasize bars appears, it moves it here. If we disable this, the bars will just appear on top of the normal bars, as you can see. So these will just change. These will change themselves. See, they just change themselves to emphasize bars. That's basically it. So if you like this, you can use this. I've seen people use only normal bars. I've seen people use emphasized bars, you know, where they move them around. I've seen people use this option too. It's really, you know, it's really up to you. This size multiplier gets enabled if you actually disable this move, so you can actually, you know, make these emphasis bars bigger. So I'm gonna make it at 1.5, and these emphasis bars right now here, they'll be pretty big to show you, hey, watch out, man. You know, as you can see, just to give you a small reminder. Again, I'm gonna disable these. I like them to move around, so we can change when they emphasize. You know, if we want them to emphasize at like 15 seconds, we can change it here. We're gonna keep it at 10. I think 10 is fine. Yeah, 10 seconds is fine, or 11 seconds in our case. For the font, let's just make it the same as here, which was 16. And again, we're hit with the same thing. I don't like that they're way too short, and right now I don't like them because they're way too long. So I'm gonna make them a 220 width with, I think we had 27 height. Let's see how it looks, right? So don't forget to press enter to confirm the changes. All right, create test bars. Let's see how it looks. I think it should look more in line with this one here. Yep. Perfect. Now it kind of makes more sense, right? All right. As for the positioning, I usually put them on my left here. I don't like to let them under my character very often, because under my character I kind of want to dodge swirlies and stuff like that. So I can maybe put it, you know, on the left here. Or again, I can just simply use this normal bar and put it here on the left. Up to you. If you're gonna do like me though, where we have normal bars here and bars here, then you can just only use this, because simply it will be too much color. Like you have too many bars. So basically you can just do this. For example, we're gonna disable the emphasis bars, move the bars right here. We're gonna move these up for a second. We're gonna put them there. Since we disabled them, we don't really care where they are, so we're gonna put these here. And now you can just simply use this, right? If you don't want to, let me actually show you. If you don't want to, you know, have that many bars, and then you can just later on change the colors to red or something like that. Up to you, right? Or you can just tell them to not move. You know, you can kind of do this too. For example, I'm just giving you some examples right now. So I said I don't want them to move, but I want them to multiply the size. I'm gonna just keep it at 1, just like per usual. But I'm gonna enable them and not move them. So let's see how they go. Yep, see, and then we just have this here. As you can see, we'll just change this color when stuff hits the fan. So it's just these are again examples as to what you can do. What I use, again, I enable them and I move them. So I'm gonna show you exactly what I do. So I'm gonna put these here. Sorry, my bars are actually a bit higher up, because on my right here I have weak chords, which I'll cover in an upcoming episode of this, or a video of this. And I usually put my bars around here. That's what I kind of do, right? And I put my bars up here, and bars here, right? Maybe a bit lower. I don't exactly remember, something like that. And I just have this. It's pretty much a very, you know, kind of hard to remember. I have it since I got so used to it, and that's pretty much it, right? That's what I kind of use. Again, whatever you decide to use, for the sake of the video, I'm just gonna leave it like this, so we don't waste any more time. All right, so for nameplate bars, this is a bit more complicated, so I'm gonna have to go to this dummy here. So for nameplate bars, basically, we'll go there. Basically, this thing, some abilities, some bars will not only appear on your right, but it will also appear on your target. So let me actually show you. As you can see, we have some bars on top of our enemy here, right? So if we just go attack it, it will stay there. As you can see. So yeah, this is basically what a nameplate bars is. We can change the height, you know, if you want to. I'm not sure exactly if it works. You can also change the offset of it. Let me see if it. Oh no! After to test them, you have to have a target. There you go. So we can just again go for, I don't know, 27 for example. See, it just changed them. I'll leave it at 15 because it's way too big. Y offset, you know, you can have 0. You can have 25. You know, it will just move. You know, how further up it is from the from our target. So let me just make more bars for this one. Perfect. I can change the transparency if you want them. I'm gonna leave it at 0.8 to 0.7. I don't know. This one, I think you can leave it to grow upwards, but it will rarely happen. Match width of template, sorry, of nameplate. This, I think, it's really up to you. This is basically just if you want them to be as long as the as your nameplate, and that's pretty much it. Basically, that's pretty much it. All right, we got most of the stuff actually out of the way, and we're gonna go over to the messages tab and talk about messages. So basically, these are, I'm gonna give you a reminder. These are basically these messages that appear above our character to kind of warn us of mechanics, of things we have to do. So I'm gonna show them right now to you. There we go. And it's just up there. That's basically, those are basically messages. So we're gonna keep it in line with what we already have on the bars. So we're gonna change your font to 2002 bold. Outline, we're gonna put it at thick. Sorry, thin, not thick. For font size, I'm okay with 20, to be honest. Let me just double check it, but it looks to me pretty fine. So yeah, it looks decent. It looks decent. So we can maybe move it later on, but we'll talk about that. All right, so align, I'm gonna keep it at center. Use icons. This basically shows you the icon of the spell next to the spell, which I'm gonna show you again on the left of the text. But that's basically it. To be completely honest, let me just show you, and there we go. The icon is on the left there. Class colors, I will highly recommend you to leave it on, simply because when something needs to get spelled, or one of your teammates is getting targeted, or God knows what the hell happens, it will also tell the name of that specific character. So for example, if you're in a dungeon and your healer monk gets targeted by an ability, it will tell you, you know, name of the ability and then who's getting targeted. And let's say, I don't know, Johnny. Johnny gets targeted and Johnny's playing a monk, so that Johnny name will be basically will have the color of the monk, that greenish, you know, of the monk, specific of the monk. That's basically it, right? Grow upwards, we know very well what that does at this point. Display time, fade time, you know, up to you. Now, chat frame messages, basically it will just put in the chat the mechanics. So let me actually show you. Right here. It should happen in just a second. There we go. So it will just simply put the mechanics and this specific message in the text too. So it's really up to you if you wanna have it there. It's usually good for reminding yourself why the hell what mechanic your team messed up, just so you know. You know, just for future times to know exactly what the hell you want to dodge in the future. That's basically it. These were the normal messages, by the way. I forgot to mention that. For emphasize messages, basically the ones that I showed you earlier, I can't really force them to show on the screen, but it's basically that one, that red big one in the middle of your screen. Again, I'm going to put it to 2002 bold, outline thin, font size I think is fine, monochrome, I'm going to not use that, uppercase, up to you. I'm going to leave it on. Disabled, I would recommend to not disable them since these are usually very important spells. For the positioning, I want you to be very careful with where you position your messages, because if you position them way too low, then they're going to overlap with the nameplates of some people. So, you know, you're going to have messages. Let me actually show you, actually. What the hell am I talking about? Let me actually show you. So, I'm going to create some bars. And I'm going to be attacking this mob for a second. And you will see that because my messages are very poorly placed, we will have issues with basically being able to kind of see this bar. So it might not be that. Okay, see, we have this guy here. It's going to be pretty hard to kind of see, you know, think, right? So you have to be pretty careful with where you want to put your messages. You don't want to put them way too up, but you don't want to put them way too down. So you're gonna have to find this like very weird sweet spot. This comes with a lot of experience, how you set up your UI and all that type of stuff, right? So I'm gonna put them again here, and I'm just gonna leave them there, the messages. That's basically it for the messages. Parts, these don't, in my opinion, they don't deserve really their own chapters. I'm just gonna go over them really fast and you know what the hell to do. So messages, you can change the color of them. Sorry, here on the left on the colors, you can change the colors of mostly everything that you see. So you can change the color of the messages. I wouldn't touch these unless you're colorblind and you have issues with seeing some specific colors. Then I recommend you to not change them. If you're colorblind and you suffer from not seeing some messages on your screen, you can change them, you know, up to you. For bars, we can change the color of the bars. So let's say I want my normal bars to be the warrior, you know, the warrior specific color. I'm not really sure if I can get it really fast here. Here we go. Let's see. So as you can see right now, they're the warrior specific colors. I can change the emphasize bars to, I don't know, be what can I use? Let's just use white, right? And as you can see now, I can use white. I can use everything there. So if you want to change the colors, go ahead. I'm gonna reset them. You can also change the flashing, the background, text color, text shadow, whatever. You can change it. It's really up to you. It's customizable. Sounds. What sounds the messages bars do when they appear, or they or in the case of bars they deplete. Again, up to you. This is really, to be completely honest, this is really, you have to play with this add-on to know exactly what the hell you don't like about it, you know, about the sounds. So you simply choose whatever you want here. I'm gonna go with, I don't know, spell under you for alarm. You can check them here by pressing this little speaker icon. You can even use the DBM if you're coming from that. So yeah, countdown. This is basically for when a spell is very important.
5,
so
4, 3, 2, 1.
All right. So this is usually used for, how should I say, for a very important spell where you have to be in a very specific place, or for a spell that can one-shot you, stuff like that. That's basically it. You can change when the cooldown starts. The voice, you know, we can use if you want to. Do we have French? We have Français.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
If you're into that, you can change that if you want to. I'm gonna keep it to English because, you know, I'm just we can also use Jim here.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right. we got enough ASMR here. All right. You can enable the text countdown. You know, you can have a countdown before the text. So I'm not gonna show because I don't want to hear that voice again. I'm gonna put it again to 2002 bold again just to maintain some consistency. Outline thin, countdown color, font, up to you. Pull. This is basically when a pull timer starts. So before every pull or before a key starts, you can just simply type /pull, and then the seconds you want to wait. So let's just say /pull 10, and we want in 10 seconds to pull something or to attack something, right? Let me just type that. There we go. And now, and at 5 seconds, the countdown will start. There we go.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Right, perfect. That's basically what this pull is and what the countdown is. You can change when the voice to appear. If you want it to start from 10, you can start from 10. You can play a sound when the boss starts. Play a sound when the pull timer started, finished, countdown voice. Automatic combat logging. This is basically if you want to post your logs on the internet. You need to do this. You have to go to system, go to network here, and then enable advanced combat logging. Without this, you won't be able to log things. So just make sure that that thing is that thing is enabled. Okay. Victory is when basically you kill a boss. Wipe is when your whole team dies, and just before, you know, it's that sound before your team starts to flame each other. Auto reply is basically when someone messages you, you can basically, you know, BigWigs can reply to people like, if someone asks you, hey, how are you? And you're in the middle of a boss fight and you're already at full focus on the boss, and you can basically forget to reply to someone. BigWigs can do that for you, and you can just put here, for guild and friends, you can just tell them I'm busy in combat, whatever, and stuff like that. You have boss block. I'm not even sure exactly what the hell this thing is. Oh, okay, yeah, okay. So basically, you can just block things from appearing. If you engage on a boss, you can hide quest tracker. I'm not sure if this works here. No, it doesn't work here, but you can basically disable a lot of things that bother you during a fight. So you can also mute audio, stuff like that. Icons, these are basically so I'm gonna have to make a new group to actually show you. So I'm gonna make a dungeon, premium group, start, private, 2, perfect. So these icons, what it means is basically sometimes when a boss mechanic is on you, BigWigs can put a marker on you. They can put the specific marker. You can put whatever marker. With that one, you can basically change what the defaults are. That's basically it, right? So these are the markers that BigWigs is talking about. Let me open up BigWigs again. And you can pretty much just tell it what the defaults to mean. Usually it's skull and cross. Usually skull is the white one, cross is the red one, right? Like these are the defaults usually. This is what people usually use. It's kind of like an universal language. Statistics, up to you. Proximity is that thing that I showed you very early on in our guide. This thing here, it's usually used when you have to keep a specific distance to a player, or you have to be stacked with a player. This is when this thing will be enabled. There really isn't that much to change. I guess you can maybe change the font, and to actually have it on your screen to actually test it out, you have to enable the show moving anchors, just so you know. Font wise, you have basically sound for when it has to show you something. You can change what you wanted to show to you. Tooltip, whatever. Tooltip is if you want to see what specific spell you want it to track. Sorry. So proximity is basically to see what spells it tracks. There you go. Ability name, close button, up to you. All right. Positioning, you are able to how to move it. Out power, this is very rare. Okay, this is incredibly rare. And I think the last boss that used this thing right here in the corner, the last boss that used this, I think it is Zaf. And even then, I have my doubts. This is gonna be used very rarely. When it is used, it's basically when you have to track a specific debuff that your whole team has, and it has to be depleted, for example, right? If you guys have done Nylofa, the last BFA tier, if remember, you had your Heart of Azeroth, you had to deplete it. This is how you can check who the hell messed up stuff, right? So again, this is very rare. This is incredibly rare. Like, we're talking about, there haven't been 31 bosses who used this since Nylofa. I think it's been 31 bosses. So yeah, the moment you will need this is when you actually know how to use BigWigs. Trust me. All right. So, and they won't put such bosses in early raids, or usually they won't put them in dungeons because they don't want people to flame each other that hard, right? So we're gonna disable that. I'm not sure exactly how. Okay, never mind. If you want to close it, just press X button. We spoke about profiles. Again, enable spec profiles. Told you. So yeah, this is pretty much all the other categories. Then we're gonna go over to raid bosses and dungeon bosses. Let's talk about raid bosses and dungeon bosses. For raid bosses, we're gonna take, for example, I'm gonna go into Sepulture. Let's go over the first boss, and let's say I want to make custom. How should I say? I want to make custom reminders. Okay. So let me just put something here. What can I put here? All right. So in this boss fight, I need to go in a specific spot. Exposed core it's called. Sorry, this is a mechanic which will pretty much one-shots us, but we have to be in a specific spot. But I need BigWigs to remind me that, dude, this thing hurts, okay? So I can simply go here on the Sepulture, Shadowlands, Sepulture. If you want to change the boss, you can, go up here, change the boss wherever. I'm going to go with Vigilant Guardian, everyone knows him. We're going to go here, Exposed Core, and now I have more options here, right? So what I want to do is basically, maybe I wanted to count down in my ear that you have 5 seconds to move your ass or else you're gonna die, And you can just change more things. We can basically change the message. We can change the color of the message. We can change the color of the bar. We can make it, I don't know, green, for example. Sound, we can change the sound. I don't know, read warning. There we go. Up to you, right? If you want to change that, if you don't like it, reset, and you're done, right? That's basically it, and this applies to dungeons too. Let's just go over Tazavesh, for example, since I'm gonna be making a series on that. Let's go for the Sawazmi, and Sawazmi in Tazavesh has a very important kick. Again, I can change the. There you go. I can change the sound to when I need to kick. So Raid Boss Whisper. I'm gonna 100% sure. I'm gonna be 100% sure that I'm gonna hear that I need to kick and I won't have any excuses. That's basically it for raid bosses and dungeon bosses. Not that complicated. Again, I can't really go into detail because I don't really know exactly what you need. So it's pretty complicated to know that, right? So I can't really tell you exactly what you really need or what you don't really need. That's it from me, my fellow gamers. If the video helped you, please like the video. If you want to see more like this, hit that subscribe button. And if I missed something, make sure to let me know in the comments. Until next time, peace.